Welcome back to So-Called Xperts, the world's number one podcast about football in Brisbane. I'm Phil Davis from the Washing Line, and I'm here in Rafe Griffin's spare bedroom with...
Rafe Griffin, funnily enough.
What are you doing here?
I live here, funnily enough, as well.
Well, you weren't here when I got here.
That's because I'm a working man and I was out
I don't know if
walking the
working
beat.
for the government counts as actually working as such.
Well, that's your opinion and probably many others as well.
Probably. I don't think it's true, but that's the way things are. We are here to talk about football in Brisbane and all things in the football community in Brisbane, and we didn't have too many games last weekend, did we?
No, we didn't, and just the one game in the Premier League. But before we get into that, look, some sad news.
Indeed.
Over recent days, we learned on Tuesday of the passing of Blanchy. And of course, you've been in this position with him numerous times, both on the radio and in your very own podcast, the precursor to the So-Called Xperts.
Yeah, look, sad news indeed. As most people know, Robert Blanche. I don't think too many people know him as Robert, probably, or knew him as Robert. But yeah, we had a long history of together. We started off when there wasn't any podcast, there wasn't any radio show, there wasn't any highlights. There was basically just Stuart's website, but we worked very, very closely for a long time. We did, I don't know, around about 3 years on the Football Brisbane radio show every Wednesday night, and look, we worked very closely together. It's a really sad event for the football community because Blanchy was highly regarded by everyone that wherever he worked and wherever he went to. So yeah, a bit of a shock really. I knew that his health wasn't great. It's never been great. He's had lots of problems, but I don't think anyone was expecting it to be just such a sudden thing. And to be honest, I only found out last night, and I don't know any details, but when I get home I'll find out. But there's a lot of people out there that miss you, Blanchy. So
certainly plenty of, I don't know whether you can call them well wishes, but condolences and memories of his work, being on social media and various forums right throughout the day since the news came out. But he loved to chat, by the way.
Oh, he did love.
He loved. My memories and how I got to be in this was that there was a commentator competition the lead up to the 2013 season, and it eventuated that I went the NPL way and he was on the Brisbane Premier League. But met up with him one night, the night before the kickoff of the NPL at Mitchelton. He gave me some good tips, and then he rang me afterwards on the Monday after that game. And in about a 2-hour chat, I think I got 3 words in, all in all.
Yeah, look, I had some very, very long chats with Robert Blanche. Extremely long. There was a long period, a few years where I may have talked to him up to 20 times a day because we were just organising things, It was all about football. And I have to say that without Blanchy, I wouldn't know what I do about local football because he taught me. The first year, he just taught me so much about who the players were. I could name any club, and he could tell me who played there and who the coach was, and he was a bit of an encyclopedia of knowledge. But no details we have on a funeral or anything at this point. It's pretty quick, and it's all everyone's just trying to get their head around it. But certainly, he lives behind a legacy, which is a really good thing because, when you do something that stays in the digital medium, I guess it stays, and it's kind of like I don't know.
Oh, look,
like a tombstone.
I highly doubt I'd be doing what I'm doing now without that, and being fortunate to call some major events. But I guess Varley, Robert Blanche, and as you say, the funeral details will come out in the coming days, and I'm sure there'll be a great turnout from the local football community to send him a proper send-off.
I'm sure there will. The last time we had something similar to this was when Adrian Davies passed, and it was incredible. It was a massive turnout and a great show of support from the Brisbane football community.
Well, getting on to what Blanchy would like to talk about,
Which
no
is
doubt.
football.
Yes, just the one
Indeed.
game in the Flight Centre Premier League in the catch-up weekend.
Yep.
You were out at the Walton Bridge Reserve on Sunday night, where Lions defeated the Gap 2-1.
Where were you?
Where Lions defeated UQFC 2-1.
Yes, the Gap weren't playing. Where were you? I was disappointed. I thought you'd be there for sure.
6 p.m. on a Sunday night, I was just tucked away,
It was
nice and cold.
too. I saw Darren sign before the game. He said, "Why are you wearing thongs?" And I was like, "Well, I drove here with the heater on. I got out of the car and I realised my error after about 10 metres. I walked away." But look, it was a really interesting game. It was, well, look, a 2-1 win to Lions. They completely dominated statistics. The shots were ridiculous. I think it was 24 shots to 2 or 3. The possession statistics were through the roof as well. But it's still a good performance from Uni because they did set out not to let Lions win. I mean, they didn't so much park the bus, but they certainly played a couple of deep-lying midfielders and they were trying to catch them on the break. And, of course, they scored first. Carlton Westerdale with his first...
What a great name that is. It's up there with Yoshi Kochi.
It is. Carlton Westerdale with his first goal in the Brisbane Premier League from a great ball from Ben Roman, which caught the Lions' backline square, and he put it past Zabaks, and he ran over right to next to where I was standing, and he was emotional. I assure you, he was really, really happy. But, of course, Lions came back. Michael Butters poked one from a long throw, hit the post, hit Linus Schibler and went into the goal. And late in the game, Michael Butters taken out for a penalty. And credit to Michael Butters because he hit the ground, bounced straight back up. The ref still gave the penalty. The man of the match, the player of the match by a country mile was Linus Schibler. He was just incredible. Some of the saves he made, one save he made from Marko Jankovic was, it's a pity it wasn't on FBTV because it would have been save of the month for sure, but he was almost unbeatable. Well, he did concede 2 goals, but he even went the right way for the penalty. You know, he nearly got on it, but Nathan Shepherd was a brilliant penalty taker. You know, he's a great penalty taker. Roof of the net stuff, better than those Germans and Italians. And, well, look, that's 11 points clear for Lions now. So I'm going to suggest that Lions might be close to winning the title.
Well, we don't have a Prime Minister in this country at the moment, but it's very clear-cut.
Yes.
In the Flight Centre Premier League, as you say, Lions with
Yes.
now 11-point lead, and it's just a matter of when they'll claim the Premiership trophy as opposed to if now.
Yeah, well, it could be in a couple of weeks, I think. We got
Six rounds.
6 rounds
That's
to go.
18 points.
Yeah.
Probably around 18, 19, you'd think.
Yeah, you'd think about. Well, that's next week, around 18.
Yeah, that's right. We're around 17, aren't we? Yeah, it could be as early as next week.
So, yes, we'll see. But it'll be good for them to win it at home so they can, collect the trophy at home.
Some other interesting results in the catch-up matches.
Yes.
North Star moved up to second after their win last Thursday night against Centenary. And probably a big upset in Capital 3 with Virginia, who were looking in that neck-and-neck battle with Toowong. They've ceded that advantage after a loss to AC Carina on the weekend.
Indeed. 2-0 loss to AC Carina. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Their first loss of the season. And they now draw on level... Was it their first loss of the season? No, I think it was this second.
Ooh. You talk amongst yourself there, and
Yeah,
I'll
I will
find
talk
out.
amongst myself. They now are level on points with Toowong. So when they do meet, I think it might be next weekend.
I think so.
Not this weekend, the weekend
yes.
after. Yeah, well, that's going to almost certainly decide the Capital 3, you would think. And I still think both teams are going to go up. But
That was their first loss of the season, by the way,
Yes.
to Virginia.
I thought it was. They,
They're actually meeting this weekend, Phil.
it is this weekend.
Saturday night, 6 p.m. at Dunmore Park.
Yes, obviously I haven't written my previews as yet. Otherwise I would have known that. But look, Virginia, well, we've seen the wheels fall off teams before. Who knows? Are the wheels going to fall off Virginia? If they did, it would be one of the great turnarounds because they were almost certainly already up. So another loss could be important, but it's unlikely. Well, if they lose to Toowong, obviously.
Yeah.
If they beat Toowong, they're up.
It's pretty clear cut anyway there between the two teams because Virginia and Toowong both on 41 and a 7-point gap back to Tarragindi with 6 games to play. 7 points should be comfortable enough, you'd think.
Well, you'd think so, yes. Unless, of course, whoever loses this game, if Tarragindi win, well, it's only 4 points.
4 points, yeah.
Yeah, basically, whoever wins out of Virginia United and Toowong are going to get promoted.
Fair call.
Yeah. What else happened on the weekend?
We had a full round of Capital 4, of course.
Did.
Sanford moved into second.
Yeah, and some interesting results there. Logan City Kings beat Logan Metro 2-1 in the first of their derbies at Compton Park.
But the 46th Logan Derby of the year, though.
It was the 46th. I thought there was quite a few. Logan Village versus Brighton. Brighton took a point off Logan Village, but that game was abandoned after 67 minutes. I suspect the result will stand with I think the theory with these abandoned games is if you're if you're losing, if you appeal the result, then it gets replayed. And if it's a draw, I don't think they're going to bother too much about it.
And thrill a minute between Deception Bay and Kangaroo Point Rovers in a 2-2 draw, and apparently went right to the death. Both sides had chances at the end, but neither could put that killer blow away.
And, well, the big result was actually North Brisbane beat Bethania Rams. So whatever hope they had of getting promoted, Bethania Rams is now gone. There were one or two other games. Well, Narangba beat Rich Hills United 6-0.
And Annalee were 4-2 winners in against Redcliffe PCYC, and Cap 2 and New Farm 4-2 over Pine Hills. So
yes,
that consolidated Annalee's position in third place. 3 teams in on 33 points in Capital 2, 5 points behind the gap. Acacia Ridge, Annalee and Brisbane Force.
I noticed somebody commented on the washing line about Narangba and Rich Hills and referred to Rich Hills as the new millionaires on the block or something. What is that? Is this something we don't know? They got a grant or something?
I've never known Bald Hills to be a particularly wealthy area, evidenced by the fact that my brother lives out there.
Oh, well, there you go. But I'm not entirely sure what that was about. But, yeah, look, that was the roundup from the weekend. It was obviously very quiet.
It was.
And I don't think it's going to be quiet this weekend. What do you think?
I don't think it will be, because it really warms up for round 17 of the Flight Centre Premier League. Right from the very start, with the top 4 still very much in contention. Capalaba and Peninsula, 6 p.m. at John Fredericks Park on Saturday night.
Capalaba Peninsula, Capalaba sitting. Well, look, Capalaba need this win, but so do Peninsula, because it's Peninsula and Capalaba both outside of the top 4, and both need to get back into the top 4. And this is not a weekend to drop those points, because their competitors are they're with a fair chance of winning their games. This is going to be another. Well, it's going to be. I don't know. What do you think about this game, Rafe? What do you think?
What do I
Tell
think?
me what you think. I'll pretend I'm interested.
Oh, right, okay. Well, both teams with 7 wins for the season.
Yeah.
I was nearly going to say Capalaba because they're at home, but then I remember the 6-4 game against Holland Park a couple of weeks ago. Surely they can't do that again. Peninsula. I'm going with Peninsula.
You're going with Peninsula?
Yeah.
I am going to go with Peninsula as well. I think they'll get there, but it's going to be a really close game. And as you said, there's quite a few goals. I think there might be quite a few goals in this one as well. It could go either way. I'm tipping Peninsula. I just think they're slightly stronger.
Fair enough. Well, with the other contenders for the top 4 pretty much playing them against each other this weekend, here's an opportunity for Mitchelton to consolidate second spot on the table as they host UQFC, 6 p.m. on Saturday at Tarolba Park. But as you've mentioned with Lions, Mitchelton wouldn't want to underestimate UQFC despite the table position.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't want to do that. UQ can defend for their lives, and they can get points out of this game. They only need to score a couple of goals. I think you'd be a bit silly if you didn't back Mitchelton or tip Mitchelton to win this. And I'm sure they will win this. And depending on results, they almost certainly sew up a top 4 place with a victory here.
Yeah,
mathematically, they could even get one, I think. Oh no, they've still got 6 to go.
There's too many
sides
in that vicinity.
Yeah, I'm not myself today.
Look, Mitchelton should win.
Yep.
But as I said, I think UQFC proved last week that they're possible of an upset.
Yeah, but
I can't understand why they are sitting 11th, Phil, because you look at their squad makeup, and they're a much better side than what their performances or their results are actually coming through. So It's just something that's missing that not getting them across the line at the moment.
Yeah, well, they're not winning games. That's their problem.
Well, I suppose that's
and conceding more goals than they're scoring.
Oh, that usually sees you down the bottom end of the table.
Yeah, well, you can't put your finger on it, but I think that they need a little bit more experience, to be honest. I think they lack a bit of experience. They have a very young team, and some of the players are really good. I'll tell you one thing that I made this statement on the weekend. I think that if UQ go down, well, they will go down.
Pretty much, yeah.
If UQ go down, with the side they've got now, they'll come back up.
And, of course, at the moment, as the rules stand, it is only the top team that counts when you come back up from Capital One.
Yeah, well, if they keep this side together, they're not that bad. They are quite young as are just there. But, yeah, I think that they're good enough to finish in the top 2 in the Capital League One next year. And we know what it's like. There's going to be a few teams left behind. And I suspect Wolves are going to be in the top 2.
I was just about to mention that to you. We're talking about Capital One, a slight segue.
Yes.
Big signing out at Wolves, apparently. Nico Beshar from Redlands.
Oh, Nico Beshar.
And apparently Antonio Murray's out for the season.
Oh, you got me a little bit confused there.
Oh, have you got another signing that we don't know about?
No.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Nico Beshar.
Yeah, Antonio Murray's out for the season.
Yes.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Why?
Must be injured.
Well, I kind of figured that.
Can you imagine being a right fullback in Capital One against Nico Beshar?
I hate fullbacks. They deserve what they get.
Anyway.
No, I don't mind fullbacks. Goalkeepers, I don't mind. Nico Beshar is going to be very interesting. But so Mark Dykman has signed Antonio Murray, and he's out injured for the rest of the season.
Probably got 3 or 4 games out of him.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, he's going to have to sign someone else then. Who's left?
He may well do. Well, the deadline's now passed, so that's it. That ship sailed.
So, that ship has sailed. Moving on to the next game of the weekend. Holland Park Hawks versus Logan Lightning at 6:15 p.m. at Whites Hill Reserve. This is a bit of a last chance saloon for Logan Lightning, I think.
4th versus 6th, so they won't be entirely out of the running, Logan. But
what's the points differential there?
The points differential is Holland Park on 26 and Logan on 25. And goal difference really is going to count because there's so many teams on +7 at the moment as well.
Exactly, yeah. Look, Logan can win. We know they've got new players in the side. We know that they did well enough to get a point from Rochedale. And we know that Holland Park played poorly against... Well, they played poorly. Albany Creek played very well against Holland Park and got a result out of them. So you just don't know. Another tight game.
I think Ben Ryan said to us... after we had our chat to him last week, that he's starting to get key players back in the squad as well.
But he's lost a key player, I believe, in Mr. Ishimoto.
I'm not sure what was the wash-up of all that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
We'll find out on Saturday night.
Redlands were trying to poach him because they got unpoached with Nico Beshar.
The machinations of 30G.
And so they were trying to get Ishimoto, who's been great for Holland Park. Looking at this game, I would suggest that I think Holland Park Hawks will win.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Holland Park.
But you never know.
You do never know.
You never know. Okay, and then on Sunday, 3:30 p.m. at Rochedale. Is this our feature game?
This is our feature game.
This is our feature game. Rochedale Rovers versus Eastern Suburbs. And this is also a bit of a last chance saloon for Eastern Suburbs. In fact, this really is. It's not so much, but they need this win more than Logan need to beat Holland Park. And they can do it because they've been getting better. They confounded all our expectations just by we thought they were written off and they've been getting better and they've been consistent. They can surely beat Rochedale at Rochedale, can't they?
Well, I think they've proven that the defence is the key for them. You know, when the defence was down, letting in uncharacteristically, 3-4 goals a match. Now that that's tightened up again, we're back to 0 and 1 goals conceded, No coincidence that the rise up the table has started again.
Yeah, and Rochedale, of course, played that midweek game last week, so they had a bit of a hit out, but they were all their reserve players. We're looking forward to seeing Juan Carlos Solozano score a goal in the Premier League.
Absolutely,
Flight Centre Premier League.
That won't get you a free trip to Townsville.
Oh, really? I don't want to go to Townsville. I want to go to Townsville.
Fiji, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, okay. I wouldn't mind getting a free flight somewhere. I don't know where. Anywhere. Tamworth.
How about to Underwood Park for a start?
I'll go to Tamworth. I'll go down and see. Okay, Rosedale Rovers versus Eastern Suburbs. Both teams chock full of good players. Going to go the upset. I suspect that Eastern Suburbs is going to win this one, even though Rosedale theoretically and arguably is a better side. I think that Eastern Suburbs have got a little bit of momentum, and I'm going to tip the upset. Eastern Suburbs to beat Rosedale Rovers at Underwood Park.
There shall be no winners. It shall be a draw.
Oh, it shall be a draw. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure Rosedale will be happier with that than Eastern Suburbs would.
Yes. Well, yes. That would be more of a help to Rovers than what it would for Tigers.
Indeed. Next game of the weekend. 4 o'clock out at Lions Stadium. I've seen a bit of Lions lately, I'll tell you. 4 o'clock out at Lions Stadium. Lions FC versus Albany Creek. Lions FC are already the premiers-elect, and they will be favourites to win this game. But we cannot discount the result. Albany Creek over Holland Park Hawks in the last round.
And that put them back in the race again. I mean, they're only 5 points off fourth, so it's still a factor that they could make a final spot.
They could.
And will they have more to play for? Where Lions sort of already got the premiership wrapped up, and Albany Creek, well, they're desperate for success to try and make that post-season action.
Do you think that will have enough of bearing on the game?
No, Lions to win.
I'm going to tip Albany Creek to win.
Are you really?
I am. I've been thinking this week.
What's your rationale?
Well, my rationale is this. Albany Creek's got all their players back, pretty much. They've got some quality players in the squad. They played really well in the second half against Holland Park. Right? So they're in form. Lions were a little bit dodgy on Sunday. They're a little bit scrappy. Their back line got exposed a few times. And I just think that Albany Creek have got a chance of beating the Lions. And that's my rationale. My rationale is Lions are not so far ahead that they're going to win every game. And I think that they could get caught on the hop this time. And if Albany Creek can get 2 goals, well, I don't know if they can. Only a insane person would tip against Lions. But that's why I'm tipping Albany Creek to beat Lions on Sunday.
So you're saying you're insane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That fits.
No question. The last game of the weekend is 5 o'clock. North Pine return home, which is good for them because when they don't play at home, they tend to lose heavily. And they will be playing Ipswich Knights, who had a good win last time out.
Rare to have a 3-3 split, 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday.
It is rare indeed.
Especially a 5 o'clock game out at Bob Brock Park.
Well, the teams have to play a certain amount of, I think it's 2 games on a Sunday every season.
And they've chosen Ipswich Knights, who are going to make the long journey out to Dakabin.
Yeah, North Pine versus Ipswich Knights. Well, I'm not going the upset in this one. Ipswich Knights, for me, they've got too many players, Butler, and they've got Tobin. And yeah, look, Ipswich Knights to beat North Pine.
I might tip North Pine.
You're a good little northern boy, aren't you?
Yeah, why not?
You're a good little northern boy. You like your northern sides.
Well, Ipswich Knights will have to take a cut lunch out to North Pine.
Wouldn't you like to see a north side versus south side representative game? Would you like to see that? I would.
I think you've got the advantage. Didn't we work out early in the year that there's 5 north side clubs and 7 south side clubs?
Yeah, but that's not the point.
And hang on, what side of the river's UQFC on?
North side.
Because it confuses me because the river bends round.
It's on the north side.
It is on the north side, yeah. You don't have to cross the bridge. So if them and North Pine get relegated and then South and South Side Eagles come up, it's going to be I'm going to have to fight my turf on that one for North Side versus South Side. Anyway. There's
better players on the South Side. That's why we've got more South Side teams in there.
Yeah,
I do like people getting annoyed about this North Side thing. Someone was having a go at me about it the other day. But anyway, I'm only kidding. You know that. Although we are better.
You're not really, actually.
I am actually kidding. Yeah. So, that's the Premier League games for the weekend. And, of course, things are hotting up in the Capital One.
They are. They're hotting up everywhere at both ends of the table.
Yep.
South and Bayside on Saturday night.
Indeedly, deedly. That will be a really good game. There's so much on offer in all of these games at the moment. South and Bayside. Last time out, I believe, I think Bayside beat South United, didn't they? You're not going to look that up because it's going to be too hard. But the other games of interest, North Star got Taringa Rovers, Mogul have got Mount Gravatt, and the Southside Eagles, they'll beat Pine Rivers. Grange Thistle play Wolves FC.
Yes.
Have Wolves got enough to win that? Nah, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bayside were 3-1 winners against South last time.
No, I thought they were. So we'll see, but it's at Wakeley Park. So South will be at home, and look, I fancy South to win that one, to be honest. But I do know they've had a few injuries and other troubles over recent times. But we've got plenty of games. At the bottom end of the table there, it's really vital. Grange Thistle, you'd think they would beat Wolves. And Brisbane Knights, you'd think they'd beat Centenary. So they're the teams that are really chasing it. And look, Mount Gravatt have got a good chance of beating Mogul as well, I would imagine.
Yes.
Well, that's football. Is there anything else we need to talk about before we go?
Are we ever going to find out a Prime Minister or not?
I don't know.
Don't talk politics?
I don't think politics should come in with football, should it? He says. Anything else we need to talk about?
Not off the top of my head. Oh, just those couple of Canali Cup results where Roadstar were easy 9-0 winners against Pine Rivers.
Pine Rivers and Lions 3-0 winners over Southside Eagles reserves.
And by the time you listen to this, you'll probably know the draw for the quarterfinals.
The draw for the quarterfinals is tomorrow.
And if you're listening to this tomorrow, it'll be today.
And if you listen to this on Friday, it was yesterday.
That's right.
Can't believe Roadstar and Lions drew each other again.
Knowing the way I do a draw, it's possible.
It is possible.
Highly likely.
All right. Well, it's been interesting, obviously, a couple of days with Blanchie's passing, and it's all a bit strange at the moment. But thanks for listening in once again, and we hope to see you around the grounds on the weekend. Not sure where I'll be at this point. I think I know where I'm supposed to be at this point.
But like you tend to drift around.
That may be up for debate.
Yes.
Yes. So, all right, I'm Phil Rafe from the Washington Line, and you're Rafe Griffin from everywhere else, and we'd like to say...
Cheerio.